Happy conference championship week. Got Jason Gold. Got to do gambling with Gold here on a Monday. How did the divisional round treat you?
Horribly.
That was iconic timing.
That intro's not great after what happened this weekend. Lost a lot on the San Francisco game we talked about last week that I had all the team totals over. As soon as Debo went out, that was probably dead, but got a little bit back betting San Francisco live. Otherwise, okay weekend, ready to lock in for – we only have 3 more games left, so let's get this thing rolling.
Yeah, very sad. I actually had a great week for those that tailed me. Also, we had the dumb fuck bet at 12-1 hit, which was very nice. We relied on tight ends, and it came through here. Before we get into these games, have you seen all this bullshit about how, like, the NFL is rigged and the Super Bowl logo colors, and then the Memphis local TV station was like reporting on who was performing, and they said at the 49ers Ravens Super Bowl. Any thoughts on this?
So the color thing is super interesting, and I noticed it the last 2 years because people had pointed it out on Twitter.
Yeah.
But now it's starting to become a thing because you're 2 games away from this being 3 years in a row. It's getting a little spicy. I love it. I'm here for it. I'm here for the Twitter fodder. Everybody discussing it. The one where the Memphis or the TV station who put it out. That seems even sketchier to me. We'll see.
I think that maybe that was a thing. Like, if we're going to buy into the conspiracy stuff, fine. Maybe it was a thing. But I'm telling you right now with all of like the eyes looking on it, everyone's talking about it. The NFL is going to get everyone off their dick. And one of these teams is not making it. I'm calling it right now.
If there's a team that's not going to make it, there's a team on the other side that I'm sure that the NFL would love to see in the Super Bowl because the suite would be absolutely electric.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about it, but that might be the one that gets flipped here.
Oh, yeah. All right. Let's talk about the AFC Championship. I was wrong last week about these times. I do like the 3 p.m. on the East Coast and the 6:30 on the East Coast. We've got Kansas City going to Baltimore. Baltimore is 3.5-point favorites. Circa actually has this game as a pick'em. I saw it right before we jumped on here. Total sitting at 44.5, opened at 45. Baltimore is minus 166 on the money line. Where are you at with this game?
Circa has this game at a pick'em?
I saw Jeff Benson tweet that out earlier.
That'd be interesting. Okay. So this line is sitting between 3 and 3.5 right now. I think it's going to close probably closer to 3. So I would suggest if you like Kansas City and you see a 3.5 out there, minus 110, I would bet that right now because I think that line is going to shift more towards Kansas City. Yeah. Even though it seems like the sharper side is going to be Baltimore here, but I think there's no world in which a 4 pops up here. So more likely to slide to 3 than to 4. My opinion on the game, this is a really tough test for Kansas City's offense against Baltimore's defense. Also a day less rest. Also, they have to travel. So that's a difficult position for Kansas City to be in. But they have the ultimate eraser in Patrick Mahomes, who obviously battle-tested beyond belief, played an excellent game last night. In fact, I would say almost flawless given the conditions and given his core around him. They were able to run the ball pretty much at will against the Bills. We'll see if that holds up against Baltimore. It's tough to take. Well, I bet against Mahomes last week, but I did have him in the teaser plus 8.5. Again, this is a great spot if you want to. If it goes down to 3, bet it to plus 9. That's fine. You got to deal with the San Francisco leg also. I'm really torn on this game. I texted you earlier that my heart and my brain are fighting against each other in this. I want to be super bratty, to use your words, and take Kansas City, but I do think it's a really tough matchup for them.
I am going to stand by what I said last week. I did say that I thought if the Bills won, they would go to the Super Bowl. I thought if Kansas City won, they would lose here. I'm going to stick with that spot. I took Ravens minus 3 last night. I'm going to stand by it. I think what this is going to come down to is I think Kansas City is going to struggle against Baltimore's rushing game. Like, I think that that's what this is going to come down to. I think that Kansas City just got bullied on the ground versus the Bills for 186 rushing yards. Baltimore runs more than any team in the entire league. And also, I mentioned this Houston D that was very quietly excellent against the run. Okay, well, they just put up 229 rushing yards against that defense, and I think that that's a better defense than Kansas City's as far as the run goes. the total 44.5.
Yeah.
This is where I'm fighting. This is where I am in, like, I'm having a little bit of an emotional, like, I'm struggling here because it feels like an over, but then I also look at Baltimore's defense and how few points they allow. And I think that the right decision here is to take the under. But I
Yeah.
want the over.
No, I completely agree with you here. You look at both quarterbacks and you look at the fact that, Baltimore has an excellent rushing game. They have some big name players on that side. They're going to get Mark Andrews back on the other side. Pacheco looks good. Rice looks good. Kelce looks like his old self in the playoffs here. And you're like, okay, I got Mahomes and Lamar. Why am I taking the under here?
Yeah.
I think the under is the play here. I think Lamar, I said it last week, there's no chance that he's not tight at some point in this game. He has the weight of the world on his shoulders. Mahomes has proved everything. He knows he can go out and win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Lamar has never won a big game in this situation. And you got to take out the GOAT, or at least this generation's of the GOAT, to get there, which is everything that you want if you're a quarterback who's going up against Mahomes, but you still got to do it. I think it's going to be tough sledding for Lamar as well. I think he'll find success on the ground. We'll talk about props in a second here.
Yeah.
But I think he'll be able to run. I think the passing game is going to be difficult for them. I think they're going to be down in this game. I think it's going to be tight. We'll see if they can pull it out. But I do like the under here. I had the prediction. I had Baltimore 23, Kansas City 20. I may flip that. I may choose Kansas City in this game. It's going to be really tight for me. I'm trying to fight myself here.
Yeah, and I think part of me, and I try not to be biased, but like I would love to see the Chiefs not go to the Super Bowl just because I don't want to see them again in the Super Bowl. It's just not fun. I would like to see the Ravens in the Super Bowl this year. And I think too, Baltimore's ability to adjust at half, because it wasn't pretty when they went into the locker room at halftime. They came out. Lamar said there was a lot of cursing and he got everyone back on track. He's a leader. He did what he needed to do to get these guys to fix what they needed to fix, and it worked. So I did like that. The other thing is the Chiefs are leaving that game against the Bills with a long list of ailments to like their defensive players. They had, who was it? Willie Gay and Edwards go out during that game. McDuffie was playing through an ankle injury. Maybe I'm talking myself into it, and at the end of the day, we talked about this last week too. I should take Andy Reid and Mahomes, right? That's like the logical, smart thing to do. But I don't want to do that.
Mahomes as a dog is basically free money. So you got to get over that if you're going to bet on Baltimore. You can take Baltimore money line. Like, I totally get that play. It's really tough. Like I said, I'm fighting myself. I'm sure I'm going to be fighting myself all week. I'll probably end up betting on Kansas City again. Specifically as a teaser or plus 3.5. That's about all I got. I would not be surprised if Baltimore wins this game and goes to the Super Bowl. Before we move on to the next game, one, I want to ask you props, and two, I want to play a little game with you if we got some time.
We got time. We can play a game.
All right. So no. This is easy. I just wanted to have this for discussion points.
Okay, let's go.
So head to head, I'm just going to go over 5 kind of positions and see who stacks up head to head. Choose a side.
Okay.
Baltimore or Kansas City, which head coach do you want?
Kansas City.
Okay. Quarterback.
This is annoying. Kansas City.
Okay. So those are the 2 most important points, and you both chose Kansas City. So maybe I'm steering you in one direction or not. Skill positions. Which side would you rather have, the Ravens or the Chiefs?
I think Ravens.
Okay. Offensive line?
Does either side have injuries right now?
No. I don't think so.
I think Ravens.
Actually. Yeah, I think Ravens also. Which defense would you rather have?
Ravens.
Okay. And which special teams would you rather have?
Probably Ravens.
So I lean Ravens there as well. They have one of the best special teams units, and they have the ultimate kicker in Justin Tucker. But they've been dicey, especially Houston had that kickoff return too. So I don't know. They've been looking a little sloppy. Kansas City, Bucker, big game kicker. That one was really close for me. But so it seems like the rest of the team, we would agree we'd rather have the Ravens.
Yeah.
But how do you get over the coach quarterback combo? Not to say that Harbaugh and Lamar are fantastic, but Reid and Mahomes is, especially in the playoffs, it's so hard for me to get over betting against them in this game.
I guess if Lamar is playing like a perfect game, like there's probably a world where you could convince me to take Lamar, I guess, in a situation like this.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Against Kansas City.
I think Lamar's floor and ceiling are this. Well, I don't know. His floor is so much lower than Mahomes in a game like this, though.
Yeah. I kind of hate it, but I think I'm going to push the Ravens narrative all week long.
That's fair. I totally get it. Are there any props out there that you've kind of circled?
Yes. So I've already bet on Justice Hill to go over 31.5 rushing yards at -110. I probably will get there with an alt line also. This seems far too low. Gone over this last 2 games. Are you smirking because you took the under?
No, I'm smirking because that was my number one bet on the board was Hill over 31.5. We're on the same page.
I love it. I took his longest rush to go over 10.5 yards as well. Last 2 games, a 14 and 41 yard rush there. I can't believe his line is set lower than Gus Edwards, which is at 39.5. I also am fine with you taking the over there. I didn't take it yet, but he's gone over this 3 straight. Hill has seemed like the more productive back. I think a lot of people would argue with me on that, but I think at least as the last 2 games go that they played, I like Justice Hill here better. I also, again, Lamar, if someone knows a place that I can take like the team's rushing total, I would love to bet that market. Like that is something I would really like to bet in this game. I'm going to have my eyes open for a Dalvin Cook line as well. It's not out yet, but they got Dalvin in the game. I wouldn't be surprised if you see him going in to give a little bit relief to these guys because I think they will run the ball a shitload this game. And then after that, I did bet Kelce again. I'm just running it back. Like I said last week, you use your guys, you go vintage. It's set at 60.5 receiving yards again, -110. Running it back, anytime touchdown, +130. 2 touchdowns even, like +900. I'm not even mad if you want to go and sprinkle on that. It's down a little bit from last week at +950, but I think it's going to be a Kelce game again. And the fantasy bros are going to cry, but it's all right. This is what's going to happen. You're going to sit there and like it.
Every game in the playoffs is a Kelce game. He's proved that. You got to bet it until proven otherwise. Some bets that I would like early, Lamar under 212.5 passing yards. I do think they're going to, a lot of ground game in this one. I think Lamar will have success running. If you want to bet that over, I think it's 61.5 right now. I bet it at 59.5 over on his rushing yards. I think he basically had that in the first half against Houston, and I don't see Kansas City being able to slow that down very much. Mahomes also rushing in the playoffs always seems like a lock. Over 4.5 rushes, over 26.5 rushing yards. I like both of those. And the one that I was wondering about, so Mark Andrews is going to come back this week.
Yeah.
I'm doubtful that he's going to be fully healthy. I don't know how much he's going to be incorporated into the game plan. Is there a case to be made for taking Isaiah Likely overs, given that the market's going to be depressed on him? That's kind of one thing that I'm thinking here.
Do they have a line out on him yet?
I did not see one. Actually, I can find it. Give me 1 second.
They're being very tight on some of these positional groups if someone is injured right now.
Yeah. All I see is Baltimore wide receivers. I don't see any tight ends out there yet, but that would be something that I'm looking for.
If he is back, I think there probably is a case to be made there because honestly, I don't know that they need Andrews to win this game. Like, I think they can win this game without him. So maybe you have him come in, maybe he's a little bit more of a decoy and then you let him rest up for the big game if you guys get there. Zay Flowers really pissed me off last week, I'm going to be honest, but I think I might go back to it this week. I haven't gotten there yet, but considering it, the only other one was also Kelce's longest reception. Definitely going back to that. That also cashed this week. They set the lines for all of these numbers exactly the same as last week. So I don't know. There's really no argument against not betting the overs.
The other thing that I like, we talking about Baltimore rushing, is the longest rush over for whoever you like better in this situation, whether it's Hill or Edwards. I think there will be some big ones broke and maybe 13.5, 14.5 over, something like that. I like both of those.
Yeah, I didn't see a rush attempt number for Justice Hill yet, but I'm sure that's going to be something that I take the over on once I see it. And then what was the last point I was going to make? Totally forgot. Honestly, it went right over my head. So we'll get into the next game. I see Easy in the chat. His Lions, congratulations. Congratulations to the state of Michigan. Everyone owes me a thank you. I am your good luck charm. Since I moved here, their sports teams have skyrocketed in success. And if you want to send me to the game, you can buy me a ticket because they're 3-0 in my presence. But NFC Championship, 6:30 on the East Coast. Detroit's going to San Francisco. I'll just tell you right now, I already took Detroit +7 last night. San Francisco looked interesting against the Green Bay Packers. Total opened, what was it, 51.5. I see it around 51 right now. Detroit's +240 on the money line. Where are you at here? I know what you're going to talk about.
I bet San Francisco -6.5 last night. I'm going to keep doing it. San Francisco got, I thought, a perfect game from Green Bay. Not for my wallet personally, but for them. They got to get their ass in order here. And I think that it happens in this game. It looks like it's going to be 63 degrees and sunny, which is probably good for Brock Purdy. There is a case to be made. I want to get your opinion on this. Who does the rain hurt more if some rain does come in here? Because Purdy looked terrible throwing the ball in the rain. Yeah. But we know Jared Goff outdoors in conditions is not at all the same quarterback. Even just outdoors in general, he struggles more. But who do you think the rain hurts more in that game if there is rain?
I actually think it hurts Purdy more because here's my thing. I think that the Lions are going to go into this game trying to run the fuck out of the ball, even though the Lions don't. Like, the Lions right now are not acting like that. Because, I mean, even Gibbs, his line is like 42.5. Montgomery's is like 44.5. So Vegas doesn't think that's really the case. But I disagree with them completely. This is the first time, though, Detroit is playing outside since week 14. Almost 50 days. It's a long time to not play outdoors. They got lucky here. You know, they were able to bypass like the winter weather, and that's what the Lions kind of needed to get to this point. So this is like, you got to go back outside. Sorry, guys. Goff, a little bit of a homecoming, grew up around that area. He's 3-6 overall versus San Francisco, 2-2 straight up in Santa Clara. Not much to report other than that, but at least it's going to be warm. It just depends on the rain. Or do you think it affects Goff more?
Historically, I would say yes, it affects Goff. But after what we saw last week, me personally, I'm a little bit more scared of the Purdy situation here. I was happy to see that the weather was going to be okay for this game, thinking that it would benefit San Francisco more than it would Detroit. And I do think Detroit's going to try and run the ball a lot in this game. We saw Aaron Jones have success, but before that, what was it, 50 games that San Francisco had not given up a 100-yard rusher. And Aaron Jones kind of got there with one big 50-yard run. Otherwise, he would have been at like 70 for the rest of the game. So I'm not reading too much into one broken play. San Francisco needs Deebo Samuel. Like, my position on this has always been they need their 5 offensive guys healthy and together, and they're going to win every game. He missed 2 weeks with a similar injury. I think he's going to play in this game. How much it matters, I don't know. But I just thought it was good that San Francisco was able to come back. Really impressive drive at the end there by Purdy and McCaffrey to get that done against a tough Green Bay team. I think they're ready for the moment. I think Detroit's going to be a little shell-shocked being out of their stadium. I know there'll be a lot of Lions fans traveling out to San Francisco. Yeah. But they're going to be a little shell-shocked being out of that stadium with that environment. And with playing a much different caliber of team than the Buccaneers and even the Rams at this point. I actually thought that facing the Buccaneers after facing the Rams, they faced an easier team there. Probably a worse situation for them. They're not building up momentum towards this game. So I like San Francisco here.
Yeah. And Easy's in the chat. I know he's a Detroit fan. I don't know what the status of the Detroit's O-line is, but I think there's something to talk about there potentially. If Deebo is healthy, because I think even as healthy, he's going to be like somewhat of a decoy. Because again, you have to go back earlier this year. He did have a hairline fracture in that shoulder, and that was the injury. And they didn't even hesitate to pull him out. It was just like he was back on the field without his pads on. Like, it was we didn't even there was no, maybe questionable. Like, he just came back out without his pads on. So do you think the line closes? Like, what do you think the line closes at if Deebo is healthy? Do you think it's still, because I think it might close at like 7.5.
And so right now it's at like 6.75 because it's -7 and even. So I know that a lot of sharps hit the 6.5. I think it's going to close at 7 regardless. It's just a matter of what the juice is. I think it'll close at -7, -110.
Okay. All right. What about the total here? I took the under 52 when I saw it. I think that San Francisco can spend time stripping seconds off the clock here. I don't think I would take this under like 51 though, so I probably would leave it alone at this point. If it gets to 51, then like that's where I'd consider more taking the over.
Yeah, I bet the 50.5 actually over.
Okay.
I have the prediction at San Francisco 34, Detroit 20. So I like the over here. The only problem is I think that you hit it on the head here. San Francisco can take the air out of the ball. So can Detroit if they're having success on the ground. It might
Yeah.
be a quick game. So maybe that leads itself more to a first half under and then a second half over. I don't hate that play if we're going to go that direction. I'm guessing that the first half under, is it out yet?
I don't
Probably
know.
like
Good question. I didn't even get to those markets yet.
maybe 23.5, something like that. That may be an interesting play for the under if you're looking that direction. I would rather play, if you're playing the under, I would rather do the first half than the whole game.
Okay. Did
The
you?
first half under is 25.5. Oh, I love that. All right, I'm going to bet that. First half under 25.5.
Love it. Locking in. What any player props you looked at for this game? I didn't feel as strongly quite yet, but had a couple.
No, the only one that I already bet was Sam LaPorta to score a touchdown. I think they have an advantage there over the middle. And I think LaPorta's, obviously in the red zone, he gets targeted a bunch. So I think there's value there. Otherwise, I haven't bet anything in this game. Probably, I mean, if Debo's out there and he's playing, probably Debo unders, just, the plan for a decoy. Maybe that means I bet some Ayuk overs. That could be interesting. Goff outdoors, I'm required to bet the interception prop. So I'll do that on the overs, minus 150. Don't love laying the juice there. He's been really good holding the ball, but outdoors, I got to do it.
Yeah, I already bet the Gibbs over 42.5 rushing yards. You have to run the ball in this spot. I also think not like similar to how you play Kelce and Kittle in these vintage situations, blah, blah, blah. You also this is why you drafted this guy 12th overall. So I think you use your weapons and he is one of the biggest weapons on your team. So I think the 42.5, he should be able to get over that. You skip the Rams game. And I mean, they haven't had someone not a rusher go over that number since they played, I don't know, the Eagles. So I like that to go over. There's no Ayuk lines out. I probably will take some sort of alt line, even though he didn't have some big game this week. And then I'm going to go back to Jameson Williams. And then this will be the last time I bet him probably ever again. But we are going to go back to it at some point. I haven't checked those lines. And I saw Easy saying Ertz player props. Yeah, I'd be interested to see what Ertz receptions is set at. That's probably where I'm going to go.
Yeah, you got to smash the under. If he's not going to play in this game, I mean, he may one or two plays, but no. They're going to run LaPorta to the ground.
Dalvin Cook touchdown.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I can see it now.
The 2016 All-Star player prop lock of the week.
And I'll come up with something crazy for that. Don't worry. Any final thoughts on these games?
Oh, I wanted to run through the Detroit-San Francisco head-to-head situation also.
Oh, let's do it.
All right. Who'd you rather have as head coach? I had this exact same reaction when I was thinking about it.
Oh, I don't know. Here's my thing. Oh, man. See, I want to say Shannon's what comes right away, but what stops me is having to think about him fourth quarter and blah, 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 blah. I think in this situation, I'm going to be crazy here. I think I'd take Dan Campbell.
So I debated myself here immensely because I think Kyle Shanahan is an absolute genius. He's one of my favorite coaches. Play calling wise, in-game play calling, schematics, all of that stuff. I think that he's probably the best guy in the league. But situational football, when the games are tight, he's terrible. He's like one of the worst 5 in the NFL. Doesn't understand how to use timeouts correctly. So on that point, Dan Campbell's been absolutely fantastic at this. He's literally one of the best guys in the leagues. And I don't know who his Manalytics guy that he has up in the booth is, but someone should hire him away because that dude is fantastic as well in his ear telling him what to do. That makes me, if I thought the game were going to be tighter, I would rather have Dan Campbell. Because I think this is going to be a little bit of a blowout or a San Francisco win, and I think that Shanahan's going to be game planning, obviously, that up. I'd rather have Shanahan. by like the slightest of margins.
Yeah.
But boy, do I love Dan Campbell. If I were an NFL coach, that's exactly how I would coach my team.
And I will say, because I feel like I've talked about this the last couple of weeks, I've been very hesitant about the Detroit Lions because I just feel like this really stupid mistake is coming from Campbell, and it hasn't yet. So that kind of takes me a little bit away from it, wanting to go Shanahan there. But I think the aggression I really like.
Yeah, it's great, especially when you're an underdog. That's exactly what you need out of a head coach. So I expect him to be going for fourth downs all over the place in this game. So I have a very, very slight lean to Shanahan, but I wouldn't discount anyone for saying Campbell. Which quarterback do you want? I thought this was a really interesting debate as well.
So I've always been a Goff truther. Like, I think you know that from just knowing me as long as you have now. I'm going to take last game of Purdy away. We're going to take that away. But then you look at the experience. Like, a lot of things, something that people forget about is Jared Goff's been in this situation before. Like, he's
been to a Super Bowl.
He's been to a Super. I love, like, even when he played Stafford, whatever, a couple weeks ago, whatever it was, everyone just was ignoring the fact that Goff has done this too. Like, he didn't win the Super Bowl, but he's been there. I think I lean Goff, which is crazy.
If the game were indoors, I'd lean Goff. I think it's a true 50-50 coin flip outdoors.
I think you could make an argument for, as far as coach and quarterback go, I think there's a strong argument either way.
Purdy's, if you go look at his season stats, I mean, he was like first in every category this year, easily could have been MVP. So if you want to go Purdy, that's fine.
Like, here's my thing. Purdy on the Lions or Goff on the 49ers.
Yeah, you'd rather have Goff on the – yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you could take the worst quarterback in the league and put him with Shanahan. And so
that's fair. But I don't think you could do the same thing with Campbell.
Correct. I totally agree with you. If you want to play that game, I think that the answer is Goff. Skill positions.
These teams match up pretty well, huh?
Yeah, I have a lean towards San Francisco.
49ers, though. Yeah, there's no way.
Offensive line. This is pretty close.
Well, Lions are so banged up.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, the Ragnow injury is huge. Their splits with him on the field and off the field are horrible. He's going to give it a go. That guy's tough as shit. But
a healthy Lions O-line, I think I lean the Lions.
I think the Lions have a better O-line. They don't have the best player. Trent Williams is the best player of any of those guys. Defense.
San Francisco.
This is obvious. And then special teams. I put a question mark next to both of these because I have no fucking idea.
I don't know. Whatever. It's pretty close. Maybe lean a little bit towards the Lions again here, but nothing crazy. I don't know though. No, I don't.
I don't know. San Francisco's kicker, Moody, the rookie, gives me heart palpitations.
That's what I mean. That's what stops me there. Is like, I don't know. He scares the fuck out of me. Like, half the time I swear the ball's not going through.
Yeah. Very tight. Very tight overall. Tighter than you would say for a 6.5 point spread in this game, or 7 point spread.
Yeah. I go back. I would take Shanahan. I'm thinking about it now. I'm spending more time thinking about it, but I would definitely take Goff, actually. I do think Goff is a better quarterback.
We should actually do the game where we switch head coaches. Which team's better? Shanahan on the Lions or Dan Campbell with the 49ers?
Oh, okay.
I think I'd rather have Shanahan with that Lions team than Campbell.
Yeah, so that means I like Shanahan more. I think.
Yeah. Okay. That's actually a fun way to come to an agreement on this game.
Yeah. This is very fun. Okay. Interesting. I'm going to think about it. I'm probably going to text you like 8 times today. I changed my mind. All right. Any final thoughts?
I hope that we get a good Super Bowl. I don't know how out of these 4 teams we don't get a good Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Either, like, all of the different variations are good. What would be your favorite Super Bowl to see, just as like a fan?
Just as a fan, Lions Ravens.
Lions Ravens would be exciting.
That's what I want.
So it's definitely going to be San Francisco, Kansas City again.
I don't want to see Kansas. Honestly, too, and I think, I don't know, San Francisco fans kind of annoyed me this week. I felt like the whole game, they're just dragging their own team, like dragging Purdy, and then all of a sudden in the fourth quarter, he's the greatest quarterback alive. I just thought that was really obnoxious. So I think for that reason, I'm out on the 49ers.
In terms of vibes in Vegas, Detroit and Baltimore fans going into Vegas, I mean, Those
I mean,
Frenches.
the owner of Circa is a literal Lions fan. That place
I know.
crazy.
I'll tell you one thing. If it's Detroit and either Kansas City or Baltimore, those buffets are getting absolutely fucked up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fucked up.
Big time.
Someone said the Swifties are going to come at me again. I do not.
Whatever.
Yeah, good for them. I think that but then you can pull in I have another conspiracy before I let you get out of here is Taylor and Travis definitely started dating way earlier than people realize. So she said no to the Super Bowl. Why did she say no to the Super Bowl to play there? Because if her boyfriend's in the Super Bowl, we don't want to take the attention off of your boyfriend. So that's another little conspiracy I got for you.
Well, I think you and Ryan need to get like a conspiracy corner or hat with it, like the last 5 minutes of the show. Put on like one of those. I love it. Yeah. I can't hear you, so.
I think Stephie's microphone died.
No.
So, then now I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
I just switched it out. There's 2 of them. That's what we got him for. We're all good.
Oh, okay. I saw it was. I did see it was blinking red. So
I did too. But sometimes we record. I'm like, please don't record me right now. All right, cool. We're good. How's it going?
Great. That was that was a good show. Great games this weekend. Great quad Ds. I was idiot for not betting your dumb fuck bet. I bet them individually, which is still, won me some money, but I did not parlay.
Probably being smart.
Parlay was really fun.
That was like the smart way to do the dumb fuck bet. This week we're gonna do a mega fuck. I don't know if you saw my tweet.
Mega fuck? Okay.
A mega fuck. So it's gonna be the dumb fuck, but better. It's the mega fuck.
I can't wait. Mega fuck sounds like an orgy.
It's yeah. It also could be, something you see on Pornhub, but it's
that's definitely what I would see. I was thinking that exactly.
Do we have questions today?
We do have questions today. Okay. Question 1. This is from Chuckwagon at Real Chuckwagon X. How long until Sean McDermott and Stephon Diggs are out of Buffalo?
Something tells me, first of all, Diggs' contract makes it pretty difficult, but it's going to be a matter within the next 12 hours. He will have everything Bills deleted from his social media. Mm-hmm. McDermott should be gone. Are the Bills smart enough to do that? I don't know. I can't promise anyone that. I'd get rid of McDermott. It feels very Bill Belichick-y, but that feels like it could be the vibe there. But McDermott got this team this far. I don't think he's enough to get them over the hump. Like, what the fuck was that?
Seems like he's
what was that fake
a mental block
Hamlin? There. Yeah, I don't know. The whole thing was weird. I think McDermott has gotten them this far. I don't think that he can get them to the Super Bowl.
Funny enough, that was one of the next questions from Jay Whiskey. Why did Damar Hamlin get a fake punt? That's from Jay Whiskey at Jay Whiskey M1K. Yeah.
It's kind of funny because everyone was saying that they had like a stunt double for him, and so it was like a fake for the fake Hamlin. But I don't know. I don't know what the fuck that was. That was like, it felt very like Make-A-Wishy. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, I was like, why are we doing that? It's just totally unnecessary.
Like, not dying. He already came back from the dead.
Yeah.
Make-A-Wish is when somebody's dying.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. But he's alive now. But still, it was just very, I don't know. That was the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I didn't believe it. Like, I had to go back and like look at it again.
Yeah. That was insane. Okay. Next question. This is from at Richie_parlay. Who is winning the Super Bowl and why is it the Ravens? So you already said your Super Bowl would be the Ravens. Lions, that would be your pick.
If I was able to pick, yes. And I do have futures on the Ravens. So I would like that. I would enjoy that. I am with this person. I think I've just seen enough of the Chiefs. I'm tired. It's not fun. It's exhausted at this point. And like I said, I don't like the way San Francisco's fans, this is all like narrative based. Like, I'm going to push my own narratives. And I don't like how San Francisco fans all game are just tearing Brock apart. And then they win the game and we're back on Brock is the greatest quarterback alive. Like, shut the fuck up. We all saw your tweets the whole game.
I mean, who do you think just looked the best this weekend? Which team?
I think the
definitely
Ravens,
not the 49ers.
No, I think the Ravens do. I think the Chiefs are back on their bullshit. Like, I think that they're kind of this team where it didn't really matter. They know they can go to the playoffs. Mahomes is proving he can win road games. So the Chiefs look good too. They're doing what the Chiefs do.
Yeah. But I think the Ravens overall look like the best team this weekend.
Yeah. Well-rounded.
For me.
Yeah. I'm with you.
I mean, that was great games. Can't ask for more. We will be back tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
With a
tomorrow,
golf show.
Back with golf. Golf starts on Wednesday this week. Excited to get those bets to you guys. 3 p.m. tomorrow as well. And we'll get out of here.
Who do we have as a guest tomorrow?
Sam's going to come back on tomorrow so we can rip through some smash or pass. I've already placed way too many bets. This is what happens. You win a lot and then your bankroll goes up and then I'm just like, let me piss all the money away.
All right. So for you golf fans, we'll be back with a Tuesday golf show. We're going to be doing that weekly, and we're going to be still doing our Monday and Friday football shows through the end of the season. And yeah, that'll be it. All right. Well, thanks so much. Bye.
Watch him make you break it, break it, break it.